Hey guys, Greylands here. Sorry for the long break, but I promised you guys a rant, but today is going to be different. So I'm going to go over the list on why I wanted to say it was important, just because I don't think people quite realize how bad it's getting. Now, the first thing you need to know is no matter what you're prepping, no matter what you're prepping for, zombie invasion, government collapse, just any sort of prepping you're going, your biggest concern is going to be you, your family, and your immediate surrounding people, your group. Because no matter what you do, no matter how much you worry, I still worry the same way, you will not be able to change anything, so the best you can do is prepare for what's coming. Now, this list I made, I went by importance, and I'll explain why. With water, as it says, you'll die after 3 days without it. Now, water can be also used for a lot of other things. You would use it for toiletries. Say that you have a power goes out, but then your toilet's starting to overflow. You would want to have at least a couple gallons of water just to flush the toilet, just because disease outbreaks or anything like that, that is going to be a number one killer for you, because there is going to be no antibiotics, no way to go to the doctor unless you can trade for it. You can also use it for boiling water, tools to sanitize for medical uses. You can also use it for cleaning toiletries. Basically, it is your lifeblood. Your body's made up of over 70% water, so you kind of need it. All right, on food situation, you will need to eat sometimes. The power goes out, your fridge, your freezer, it is going to be completely useless. So what you would want is easy to light to make stuff like canned food. MREs would really be best, but they are very, very expensive now. So the way you would want to do it is kind of going from bulk non-perishables, such as rice, potatoes, stuff like that, because you will need to eat eventually. You can go quite a while without eating. You can go up to 30 days without it, but without food within that first couple of days, your body is going to be going a lot less faster, and your body needs to be in shape. Well, not even shape, just needs to be at least getting some nutrition, because say you get a cut on your hand during the apocalypse. If you do not eat within a decent amount of time, that your body is still going to heal it, but you are going to be healing at a much slower rate. All right, meds. Reason I say meds is, how many people do you know, like your mom, your dad, or even yourself, have something like asthma, or you need ADHD meds, which really are not really a necessity in the apocalypse, but still nice for focusing. But antibiotics, blood pressure meds, diabetic meds, all meds that are required for daily functioning, not just to be a society, but actual living, breathing person. You are going to need to stock up on that, because that is some of the first stuff to disappear in the event of a chaotic situation, along with a first aid kit. Now, a first aid kit, everyone thinks you need to get a trauma bag. That's really nice to get it, but those are about $200 to $300 now. You can start with even a smaller kit you can get off Amazon or from Walmart that cover most of the basic stuff. Like, it has a ton of bandages, has some disinfected stuff like that. Combine, you get that medical kit along with $5 worth of hydrogen peroxide bottles, and then and isopropyl alcohol, just some basic stuff you would normally keep around for cuts and bruises, and you can lessen your chances of getting an infection a severe amount. You will cut that down in half. Doesn't matter how many guns you have, if you don't have medical supplies and you don't have a way to clean your wounds, you're going to die from infection eventually. All right, now fuel. Fuel is kind of a dual purpose thing. You can either use it for burning stuff, or you can use it for cooking, or you can use it for transportation. Well, that'll make it triple. But fuel is very, very important, because gas pumps are going to go down right away. Propane tanks are going to be kind of what's left. So in the case of if everything goes, well, basically this goes off the rails, what is already in circulation is going to be what's left. So anything in cars are going to be, your car is going to need to make it last on what gas is in that car, unless you stock up on, say, 20 gallons worth of fuel in 5-gallon containers. Now, what I would personally recommend is going out and finding some of the older gas cans with that are a little bit better designed, and filling up with 5 gallons of fuel on a payday and adding fuel stabilizer. And just once a month, just go through, use up one of those gas cans, and just slowly cycle, and then go refill it, and just slowly keep cycling. That way, the gas is always going to be less than 3 months old. That way, you keep a nice stability, because you can fill up the gas cans, and then if you just let it sit, all that water is going to separate. All the gas and fuel and water are going to separate into different layers, and your fuel is going to go bad. Plus, you can trade your fuel, and who knows, if someone has a car they absolutely need to keep running, and you have 20 gallons of gas and no car, you can probably make a pretty good trade for that. All right, solar chargers. Now, this is something that has not been very approachable up until the last 20 years, especially in the last 10. I always say a solar charger, especially with a little like a Jacobite or some sort of small capacitor that could be used to charge phones and stuff, is now a must-have tool. Because with that single device, especially one that has USB jacks, you will be able to charge not only your phone, you can charge small flashlights, you can and lanterns, you can charge, heck, you can even probably jump a small bike with it. You can charge a trickle charger. You can use that to such an effect, and you will be king in the world when no one else has electricity, but you're still able to keep your phone in contact. A good reason to keep your phone also is you will have your live weather apps. You would have a built-in camera, so you can actually take photos and stuff, and you could, in theory, actually still use it. You would have to do some workarounds to get it to work, and there have to be a ton of Bluetooth, but in a emergency, you can get around it. All right, tools. Tools, self-explanatory. You're going to need to be able to fix your stuff. A couple screwdriver sets, socket sets, hacksaw. Just the basic tools you would find in most garages will suffice for 95% of what you need it to. Specialty tools would be nice if you can get them, but if you can't, go. All right, now here's number 7. Here's the reason I have it so low is there is a lot of nations where you cannot own guns, and I cannot express that enough to Americans who are self-centered on if you can get a firearm. There are a ton of places where you just simply can't, or what you can get is massively reduced, such as in the UK, the only pistols they're legally able to have anymore are cap and ball revolvers, and even those are heavily restricted. So, what I suggest doing, no matter where you live in the world, look up your laws and see what you can legally own. You might not be able to own a bow, you might not be able to own a crossbow or a pistol, but if you're able to own clubs, cricket bats, any sort of thing to give you an advantage in case someone breaks into your house when everything starts going down. Because you need a way to protect yourself and your family. I'm not saying break the laws, but at the same time, if you can legally own a cricket bat and nothing else, a cricket bat's going to be a hell of a lot better than harsh words and giving a call to the police and hoping they could show up. Now, there is some other things on the list that I do think would be a nice thing, such as a wind-up radio, just because you'll be able to get weather reports and you'll be able to listen in. Just some other basic ends basically, but these 7 are the absolute most important. So, yeah. Just gonna let you go. Have a good day.